Good morning, Louisiana, and welcome to another edition of Morning Coffee with Big Al
and Special T.
We're happy to be coming to you from Cypress Street Radio, AOC Community's streaming broadcast.
Look for us every day of the week. Our 8 a.m. show will start your morning off right. That's right in a good way.
Not right as in radical right. We bring you good ideas, good pastime, and who knows what else.
With
a progressive
flair. We're never going to get that right. But y'all can come and watch our 7 p.m. stream. It's a great backdrop for some decaf and peace of mind. So get whatever your beverage of choice might be. If you're watching the evening hours, if you're watching us in the morning hours, we suggest you work it out with either some hot coffee or hot tea, especially during these cold days. And anyway, sit back and enjoy the show. Hopefully you'll enjoy it. So it is a little breezy, cool outside, and we wanted to wish everybody happy holidays. And we've got a few of them coming up. There's so many holidays like Kwanzaa and Hanukkah and Christmas and there's another one, Thanksgiving.
Yeah, Thanksgiving. Yeah, that's one.
I think there's more than that. And I think that during this particular time as academics go, it was in Europe some pagan celebrations, and to blend in, I think everybody else just decided to have it about the same time so they wouldn't be standing out too badly, especially when they were being persecuted or thrown to the lions or whatever.
Yeah, there's a lot of overlap and I don't know what else you'd call it right offhand, but some of the holidays we think or we consider to be, like holy holidays are actually pagan holidays that were kind of appropriated.
Yeah. All Saints Day, is All Hallows Eve or Halloween or whatever. And so that's probably the closest one to being really creepy. That and actually Dia de Muerte, the Day of the Dead, is actually a celebration of life, the life of past relatives and things. And they have a Thanksgiving that's kind of like that in Asia. And their Thanksgiving, I don't know what they actually call it. It's probably something I can't pronounce, but they are celebrating the life of their family members from before too, and they have, it's a big holiday.
Now, who is that?
The Asian culture.
Oh, okay.
And theirs is earlier. Their Thanksgiving's earlier than ours. I can't remember if it's in August or September. But
I didn't even know they had a Thanksgiving, to tell you the truth.
It's very similar. It's kind of like a cross between Thanksgiving and Dia de Muerte, I think.
Yeah?
Yeah, I think so. I've not been to it, but family members have a number of times. And they I think they get all dressed up nice, get with family and
I guess.
Things. Yeah.
Anything for a party, I guess.
Well, not quite like Louisiana, but this is the most partying festival place that you can imagine, I think. And like you said, anything for a party.
Yeah.
Because I think every weekend that's decent weather, and even some that's not, are like some festival somewhere in the state. Usually named after food.
Yeah.
Seems like. Yeah.
Well, I guess as far as the holidays go, I guess it'll depend on when this gets posted to YouTube, because, I mean, I was just thinking about that a few minutes ago, and I guess it really, now that we've kind of moved up our recording schedule a little bit, I suppose that we could probably get this put up sooner, assuming our producer is,
able.
Has time, right, able, that would be a good word, assuming he has the time and all that good stuff.
And the motivation.
Yeah.
And maybe we can add a little incentive there.
Yeah.
Find out what he likes most of all during the holidays and say, hello, we have a present for you.
Yeah.
But you have to get this on super fast.
Yeah.
So
yeah, people might even be watching this on Thanksgiving. I don't know.
I think that would be really cool.
Yeah.
They could,
I might be pushing a little too hard, but,
I don't know. I mean, since we're actually recording ahead of time, we could request it. If not, we wish you happy holidays anyway, and hope that you had a nice Thanksgiving.
Yeah, exactly.
We are kind of prepping for it right now. And I found out some things that might be interesting to people if they were thinking of maybe trying to get around during the holidays in an unusual way for them. That you need to, trains and buses are not set up where it's easy to use. Because they don't go all the places you want to go. You would think that since there's a line of rail that goes all the way from one coast to the other, that it would stop at the decent sized cities on the way, but it doesn't.
Yeah. Well, I guess with all our high speed rail, it's kind of hard to get them to slow down.
Tongue in cheek, like, oh my God.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I've been in high speed rail before, and they have many stops, and yet they make good time. I mean, really good time. They cut time, like into minimal compared to what it would be to do it in a car. And even, splits the time between regular rail to where it's so much faster and smoother and so nice.
Yeah, I've never been on high-speed rail. Never been I've been on the narrow gauge railway in Colorado, but not real high speed.
No, I think that the country that had the first high-speed rail was actually France.
Probably.
And then it expanded to the Asian countries quickly. They were like, yeah, this is a good thing. And we've been fighting it tooth and nail. I think that maybe some of those who are benefiting from the use of gasoline have been the ones who've probably roadblocked it in some ways.
Yeah, I think that's a likely scenario.
Unfortunately. But I mean, they're just getting, I think, a rail route from Baton Rouge to New Orleans that's going to be, the frequency is going to be workable where people can go back and forth between those two places. I don't know if they don't stop in between, but anyway, I know that they were looking forward to the start of that, and the governor was talking about it being approved, so it'd be nice.
I mean, I'm pretty sure, now it's been a while since I've looked at it, but I did look at it, for the, because I was thinking about, taking it, but to go from Lafayette to New Orleans. I mean, a couple of years ago, 2 or 3 years ago, and then I think the COVID thing kind of knocked it out and they never reinstated it or something, but I'm not really sure what the whole story is on that.
Well, the crazy thing about that is it goes one way one day and another way and next day, and you can only go one way that day. You can't go there and back again. You have to stay the night, which, I guess that helps the the hospitality group, you know, and you gotta eat and sleep and carry over, but that's the way it is.
Yeah.
It is the way it is. Oh, I have a visitor here. You can't see her.
Oh, really?
Right. She's really investigating things.
Okay.
Oh my God, they got sick. What are you doing? Let go. This is Fatty Cat and Fatty Patty.
Oh, yeah?
Her name is Mia, but she's put on a few pounds.
Oh, yeah?
She weighs 11 and a half, but her brother weighs 14 and a half.
Okay.
He's all muscle.
Okay.
Really. I mean, I weighed them all because I was trying to dose them on medications for, you know, that go by weight.
Yeah.
And it cuts off at 11 pounds to a new segment of this thing that they're getting. So I need to switch out a couple of them to get the correct poundage.
Yeah.
For their weight. Yes. So what are you doing for Thanksgiving? You traveling anywhere or whatever?
Well, I may go to Lake Charles. I'm planning to go to Lake Charles, but there's a little bit of, I guess I'm not really sure. I thought my son was going to be working Thanksgiving, so I was going to kind of switch out the way I normally, you know, the order of operations, but now it looks like he won't be, so I may go back to the usual, which is, you know, do something around here first and then go to Lake Charles. But I'm pretty sure that's, you know, that's kind of what it's looking like right now, but it's not carved in stone yet.
Yeah. Well, for all those folks who are here and don't have family or whatever, I think there's a wide assortment of different opportunities to get a good meal anyway.
Oh, really?
Yeah, some of the restaurants have a special Thanksgiving fare that they, you know, get to open up to people who are interested. Now I have family in Texas, and they say that and I know that they did this in like Michigan too, is the grocery stores would do a full blown Thanksgiving meal that would serve like 4 people, and
oh yeah,
you could do that instead of cook, and it's good.
I think El Pollo Loco has one of those.
Maybe Papa Loca, you mean?
No, El Pollo Loco.
Pollo Loco, okay.
Yeah,
the Spanish.
Sometimes known as the crazy chicken, I guess. But
yeah, they have the crazy girl potatoes too. That
really?
they took over Shangri-La.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, Shangri-La is no more. The Japanese place that was over there close to the DoubleTree used to be the Hilton on Rue La France. It's closed up, and today and tomorrow, if I'm not mistaken, I saw it on the news, Tula Tacos changing over. They're closing. In fact, I may try to go there because they're going away and they have good stuff to eat, I think. This is not a commercial. It's not a commercial. Yeah. We're just talking about good food. But they're closing down, yeah.
Huh. I didn't know that.
They've been big as far as, you know, citizenry, you know, supporting the different groups. I know that they did a give back for World Polio Day for Rotary, and they did a thing for Alzheimer's. And actually, Pete's did something like that. And Buffalo Wild Wings has done that for the schools there in Carencro for a while. So it's nice when the restaurants take on, you know, charitable supports and let some of their profits go toward that. It's not all the profits, usually about 10%.
Yeah.
But it helps. It helps.
Yeah.
They still get people coming in, and then the charities get things too. And speaking of, there's some stuff coming up. The Trail, Louisiana, or maybe it's Trail Lafayette, I don't know. Anyway, they are having their Cajun Country run on Saturday after Thanksgiving. It's they have volunteers. They may be, if you volunteered before, they may say, okay, well, if you know what you're doing, come on and help.
Yeah.
They'll be doing the registrations early. I know that the volunteers are asked if they can come at 6 for setup, and then registration, I guess, is from 7 to 8. And they'll have a lot of different races, different categories, men and women, and they have usually Ainsley's Angels, the folks who are immobile, and they're pushed in these 3-wheel mobile systems that racers will push,
Okay.
and they have like passengers in there. They get to experience the fun of the race,
Yeah.
And, I know that one year they had some of the guys that were in uniform. I don't know if they were National Guard, maybe, probably, but also the law enforcement went in the battle fatigues and ran. But that now is more or less, they have a specific event on around 9/11 that is for support of the troops, and other people can race. They have to fill their backpack with 30 pounds of rocks or something, cans, whatever, carry 30 pounds, wear boots, and run in support of the troops.
That sounds like
Make
fun.
them appreciate what they do, their ability to handle that kind of thing. That's a lot of weight to carry in a race.
Yeah, it's a fair amount, but probably, I would guess, half of what some of the actual
soldiers in combat.
I don't know about how they'd be wearing it in combat, but if they were, going from one location to another, marching, something like that, I seem like I've read, figures that were definitely higher than that, but 30 pounds, I think, is probably more than I'd want to carry.
Yeah, the Boy Scouts, they have, they do some regiments too that when they hike certain places, they start out with a real heavy load as they're carrying their tents and their food and everything to survive for a while. I think Fillmore is a huge camp that lots of the Boy Scouts have done.
Oh,
it's in
Fillmore, did you say?
It's in I think it's in I think it's in Oklahoma. I could be wrong.
Okay. So not like
Tulsa. I'm pretty sure it is. They've got a great big Boy Scout. I think their headquarters were there.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, they had a big old building, and they got all that deco architecture, and I think they have a building that's actually the same name as that camp. I could be wrong, but my memory's like going, oh, do you remember anything?
Well, I'm thinking about the like the Allman Brothers at the Fillmore East or something like that. When you say Fillmore, that's what it reminds me of.
I could be wrong. Fillmore. I don't know.
I don't know. I've never. That's a new one for me. But
yeah. Well, I have a patch because my stepson did that, and I don't know what I'm doing with the patch. I think his dad had it, and so it's really. I don't know. As I'm going through stuff, thinking about moving, I need to get all these things where they need to go, where people who appreciate them the most would be the ultimate recipients of the distribution of things. It's crazy. It really is crazy.
Yeah, I have a lot of stuff that I need to do something with.
Yeah, it's a real challenge. People don't think about this. They're, and they really had a whole show that talked about ageism like sexism and racism and speciesism, where you kind of, I don't know if you put down or you put up or whatever, but you treat certain groups in certain ways that are not always fun and or realistic or fair.
Kind of like nationalism, except not having to do with nations.
Yeah. Yeah, that. But yeah, when you get older, I mean, you're like, what am I going to do with all this stuff?
Yeah.
And it really is a challenge for people a lot of times to figure out how they're going to get through it all. I mean, I know I've been saving files like in my attic since the 70s, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I need to have this big bonfire.
Yeah. I can relate because it's, you just have stuff that for whatever reason you don't get rid of it. It's kind of the pack rat gene that somehow.
It wasn't really that. It was like being, in the area of finance and stuff that you think you're supposed to hang on to all these records, but then the task of going through them, is a real. It's not something you feel like doing.
Yeah.
At that age, I mean, you're like, no, I'm supposed to be, just paying attention and doing things that are worthwhile for the moment. I don't want to go backwards in time. I want to go forward.
Yeah. Well, I guess it's also, in my case at least, something that you think, well, I don't think I'm really going to do anything with this today, but maybe tomorrow or next week. A few years later.
So with that, we give our allegiance to our fellow procrastinator.
Yeah.
So we're all in the pickle. And anyhow, I'm thinking that it might be worthwhile to have some Thanksgiving type or holiday cheer while we do our little break in time,
Yeah. Well, that's a possibility.
I think.
I was thinking about what to address in the second half of our program, and I was thinking about
taxes.
Well, taxes is one thing. I was thinking about. It appears that there's an amendment up for vote on December 10th.
Oh.
Regarding whether or not making it illegal for illegal aliens to vote. And I'm thinking, I think that's the way they put it. And I'm thinking, well, why is this even put up there? Because I mean, it's not legal anyway.
Let's talk about that when we come back.
Well, that sounds good. And
because there's some interesting things, different states. So enjoy your break.
Yeah.
Yo, don't just vote. still the same. If you don't vote, then you can't complain. But you wonder after all these years, could one vote put a stop to all the tears? Tears of frustration, tears of loss, tears of oppression, tears of the cross. It's easy to hide on the web, not so easy when you're on the other end.
This ain't no 3D movie, there's a choice. Imagination fuels the voice. Your vote is your magic wand. Vote for whipped cream clouds if you want.
Don't just vote for a candidate, a persona because you relate to it. Don't just vote along party lines. There's more than two colors in your mind.
Vote for rivers and salmon in the streams. Vote for the oceans flowing from inside your dreams.
Dreams of equality, life is divine. Musical dreams of a sweeter time. Vote for Breonna Taylor, vote for George Floyd. Vote for Oscar Grant, Brenda Rest is on board. Vote for Eric Garner, vote for Tammy Rice. Vote for change or pay the price. Vote for wonderful architecture and better movies. Vote with secret humor, but vote truly. Every word, every gesture you elect. The system isn't great, but it's perfect. Don't just vote.
What do you mean you're upset? You don't know how to make decisions?
Don't just vote. We have to excise that malignant cancer from the body politic. But that's just the beginning. Real politics is what you do before and after you push the lever. You have to keep your shoulder to the wheel, engagement, activism, organizing. That's what'll make the difference.
Okay, well, welcome back.
Yes, here we are.
We are.
Back again.
Yes. Yeah, and speaking of immigration and all that, I think that things have gotten a little bit more humane, but we
I don't know.
started.
Hard to say.
I know.
really-
It's not in the limelight per se. We know that people are still being deported.
Yeah.
The Border Patrol still has a job.
Yeah, that just reminded me of something I posted, and it must have been, I'm thinking at least 3 or 4 years ago, about some detention facility
Oh,
in Texas. And there was a senator from someplace, not from Texas, but someplace, some other state, obviously, but went down to check it out because he apparently had heard something about it, and they wouldn't let him in. They wouldn't let a senator in to,
wow.
yeah, and everybody kind of, you're just, just
Trying to stir the pot. Yeah.
well, that, and I'm thinking, to me, if there's going to be some kind of operation like that, someone at that high of a, political rank,
Leadership.
yeah, leadership position. There we go. You'd think that be kind of hard to exclude somebody like that. I don't see what legal basis that.
Well, when you're an island and you've got something to hide,
yeah,
and they obviously did. And that's unfortunate because, the transparency of operations like that are crucial to making sure people are treated well, like human beings.
Yeah, not to mention all the other obscured global operations.
I know. I just think about DeGray, what they did out there. It was just a mess.
The what now? Where?
The when we were in the Iraq.
Oh yeah.
That was
Yep.
really.
Yeah, that was definitely.
And it was horrible,
Well, and it makes us look bad and it makes us less safe. And we don't even know about it, half the time until it's, the damage has been done. It's, I don't know. I don't agree with the policy.
Yeah.
But I've had people tell me, we have to, and actually it's kind of I would say, and I guess I've read the term, kind of a psychotic foreign policy. But,
war is not, it would be so nice if everybody could just get along.
Yeah.
Okay, here's my cup. Okay.
Can't see it. Maybe you put it a little bit closer.
You may say I'm a dreamer, but I'm not the only one.
Oh, yeah.
Was,
Well, that's
our wonderful
Yeah, it
guy,
looks
John
like-
Lennon.
Yeah, so I was going to say it looked like John there.
Yeah, it is. It
Yeah.
is. But I just finished reading Slaughterhouse 5. The Kurt
I've heard of that,
Vonnegut-
but I never read it.
Kurt Vonnegut's
Yeah,
thing about the war. And it's a
Vietnam War.
fast read. It's a fast read.
Really?
It's really interesting. He throws in a bunch of time travel back and forth, and they mention a lot of times goes over to about that firebombing that took place in Europe right before the end of the war.
Dresden.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And Kurt died, I think, in 2007. But they played an interview with him on NPR recently, and it was it was so engaging and just struck me that I was like, man, I'm gonna read some of his novels again. I read some of them in college, but not Slaughterhouse Five. Interestingly enough, I read Cat's Cradle and a few others. But he had a real interesting way of writing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever read anything from him. I mean, other than
Well, you
just little
should.
excerpts.
You
Yeah,
should.
probably
And that was
should.
probably one of the poignant, but somebody was telling me that he had actually written one of his novels talks about how the entertainment industry is going to take over the leadership of the world. And that's going to come true. You know?
Yeah,
If you read Nothing's Real and Anything's Possible, it's written by a Polish journalist about Russia. And it's really interesting what he reveals about Russia and their politics and how they punish people sort of subtly.
yeah,
You know, you put them in jail for a while, and then when they come out, they don't have anything left.
yeah.
All their stuff is sold, and they have to start over again.
Yeah, I guess what's her name, Griner or something like that, the lady basketball player.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's,
They moved her to a work camp.
yeah, it's I don't know. There just seems to be a ongoing effort, basically a class war, and to keep the probably, let's just say the 90 percentile or below, keep everybody in that group suppressed unless you happen to be above that and cause too much trouble. Then they probably do what they can. And I mean anybody, any country, they might try to retaliate in that situation, but it depends on if you got enough money. I guess it'd make it kind of difficult.
Oh, no. Supposedly they're working on some sort of a prisoner exchange.
Yeah, and I've seen that.
Oh,
Yeah, I tell you, it's kind of
she's gonna be scarred for life.
well, it's kind of I've seen some people comment, well, she should have known better, too bad, and all that, and it's kind of, I don't know if I'd call it necessarily inhumane, but the thought comes to mind. But it's just kind of I guess somebody might talk like that until it happened to them or one of their friends or relatives.
Oh yeah, like
that.
that's so many times happens with the LGBT community.
Oh yeah,
it ends up having something happen in your family, then you're like, oh, these are really human people, and
yeah,
they need to be treated like such. And then you sort of turn over that area of wisdom, But man, this guy that pulled this last number, he should have been, should have, would have, could have, all the legal things of all the trouble he had caused to not have been flagged as a...
Yeah, I haven't read all the details on that, but I did read that, he was or should have been red flagged.
Yeah.
And,
but he's from some area that supposedly is, all about gun rights and stuff. And so.
Well, I think there's a good point to gun rights, but still, some people definitely don't have the stability or sense or whatever, or the,
or even the morals.
Yeah.
Speaking of, I'm going to give a shout out to the grannies who did so much work to help you know, they would be at the detention centers and give rides to the folks that were released and didn't have any place to go, to help them connect with their families. I read a few books about immigration. One is A Beautiful Country, that was written by a Chinese immigrant. It came over as a child, and she talks about her childhood and all, and being reunited with her father and along with her mother. She was with her mom. They got together and they lived as illegal aliens for a long time, but she ended up getting her citizenship and becoming an attorney.
Okay.
There's another book called The Faraway Brothers, that is written by a social worker who wrote the story of this young man, these brothers that came over, the coyote, and the struggles that they go through. And you're thinking, you know, kids are kids and they just don't think sometimes, you know, that they're so influenced by peer pressure, and their focus just, you know, seems to be misguided sometimes, because, you know, they're here without parents, you know, and they may get with an uncle and then or an aunt or whatever. And just like kids, you know, they get resentful and rebellious, and they can, you know, mess up the best of efforts to try and help them.
Yeah, like they say, I guess the people don't really have a maturely functioning brain until about 25. But,
well, you know, in Europe, they say that kids before the age of 19 don't have the mental capacity to really be able to handle driving.
Well,
and I took that to heart, much to the chagrin of my daughter. But anyway, she ended up getting where she could drive after she was 19.
Well, what were we talking about just before the break? The amendment here locally.
Yes,
and, you know, and I saw this. I mean, I haven't, let me see if I see it on I don't know if it's something I can vote for or not, but I'll look on my Go Vote and see if it tells me.
And this will be the December. We have an election in December because we do have runoffs. Yeah. And exactly. You can go to sos.la.gov and look up elections and try to make sure you're home for this. I keep noticing that on the day of runoffs, people are so distracted by other things going on that they forget, they miss it. And we want you to actually be able to vote in this next election. And it's in December.
Yeah, December the 10th. And let's see here.
Write it on your calendar. Go vote.
Okay, and there's early voting from November the 26th.
Okay, that is the Saturday when you're running at the Cajun Country Run. So if you're a volunteer, remind everybody after they finish sweating and get off out of their sweaty running clothes to go vote.
The November 26th to December the 3rd.
Yeah, I may have an early voting sign that I could probably post somewhere in there. You know, they have hundreds of people come for that event.
Oh yeah, that'd be a good idea.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see, but then I guess this is the one that I thought was kind of interesting, and this is I'm not sure what the CA stands for, but this is,
California.
well, that's what, yeah, you'd think that, but it's in Louisiana. So
Oh, okay.
this is the, CA number 1, Act 279, 2022, HB 178. So it's apparently a House bill from the State House, but the requires U.S. citizenship in order to register and vote in Louisiana. And then it says, do you support an amendment to provide that no person who is not a citizen of the United States shall be allowed to register and vote in the state? Now, what kind of, I mean, this is kind of like that amendment about the involuntary servitude at the last one.
Yeah.
And of course, both of them essentially said the same thing. I mean, either the for or against. And I don't, I wonder.
It'll be interesting to see what PAR does with that. The unbiased evaluation of the amendments and everything else that we vote on, that they usually have a real good grasp of what it is and how it affects things one way or the other. But
what's that going to change? I mean, it's like we want to make it to where you have to have a driver's license to drive a car. Well, okay, yeah, that sounds like a good idea. Don't we already have that, or what?
It's like, hello? I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not sure what the deal is with that, but I guess people might be noticing that there wasn't much of a red wave either.
Yeah, that was a real disappointment for them. Those who were part of the way.
We still have Georgia in play, though.
Yes.
Which, it would be nice to, in my opinion, being, I guess, not wanting what's the word?
Authoritarian.
Fascist, authoritarian type setup. I'd like to see Georgia go blue or stay blue or whatever it is. I'm not sure. I think it would be staying blue, but it's
The interesting thing is there was something that went before the Georgia courts and it failed, and that was a win for easier voting and not having it suppressed. So
I seem to remember something about that too. I forgot what it was.
In today's news. It was in today's news.
Okay, well, that's good. I mean, it's like if you have a good product, you really don't have to sell it that much.
True.
It's like
unless there's been so much propaganda pushing. Well,
that's true too. I mean, there can be a lot of people throwing the counter intention up and all that, but if you have if you have a good product, it's kind of sells itself, I guess is what I was getting at. But some of the I don't know, everything. I mean, I've noticed this, and it's like the internet seems to be deteriorating to me. I mean, it's my, trend that I've been noticing, and everything is just, constant ads or pop-ups or all this other stuff.
Oh, it's aggravating.
Yeah, it is. It's irritating.
And then also the updates change stuff sometimes to where some of the, what I think were some of the things that made it so easy to navigate have become more cumbersome. Like it used to be where you could, if you found a link that you liked and you wanted to share it with people, it was easy to just go ahead and copy it and paste it into another medium to share it. But sharing has become difficult in some respects. Like, okay, during our break, we had shared a URL that would normally back in the old days, you could just take it and copy it, and then you could put it into your own file and just paste it. But for some time, I've been having to paste it into like a Word file and then try to paste it into something else. It can't go direct. And now even that doesn't seem to be working.
Well, I mean, really, like right now, I mean, on our, and of course, this really wouldn't be the, I guess, unless somebody said, oh, I'd like to watch your show, you know, if they called you up and you could send it to their phone or something like that. But like to be able to highlight the URL up there, you know, at the top of the page and right click it and hit share, and then have an option to share it with whoever you wanted, you know, somebody's email, somebody's phone number, you know, for text or whatever.
Yeah.
Now, and I've seen some places or some applications or something, some instances where that can be done, but it would be
Not
nice to
always.
have that universal,
Yeah.
you know, because if you want to share something, you just right click and hit share, you know, but I mean, it's like,
It's
took me a lot.
proprietary.
Well, yeah, I guess there's something to do with that, but I mean, I guess it was a while before I ever figured out the right click, copy and paste thing. You know, I mean, it's been many moons ago and all that, but it's like,
I think that it wouldn't do us, it might do us well to actually attend some classes on things like using the cell phone and
oh God,
the
cell phone. I mean, it just, cell phones really, I mean, a laptop I can hang with, you know, I can handle that, but a cell phone, you know, it's like I look at it and I think, well, what does it want me to do? What do I have to do this? And I don't see any clue.
No,
You know,
yes. No, maybe. I
Yeah.
don't know.
Yeah, it's,
Cell phones. Oh, Lord.
yeah, it's like, I
And
mean, they're handy and all that, but it's like trying to figure out how to do something. It's like you just try everything on the page, you think, you know.
well, I tell you what, my little daughter, who's 45, 46 years old, she's like, Mom, it's great. You know, it's like walking around with this little tiny computer and you can do all this stuff. And I'm like, okay,
Yeah.
have at it.
Yeah. Well, there's probably, I mean, you know, it's just a question of knowing how to do it, but you're probably right
Exactly.
about
That's
that.
what I'm saying. I'm wondering if the library might actually have a class or something. And if I will check and we will put it on our Facebook. How about that?
Yeah, sounds
If we can
good.
find a cell phone class for anybody that wants it. Are we going?
Well, yeah, that would be,
What?
I think it would be worth putting the effort into.
Yeah, I do.
You know, 'cause I know that, and I guess,
Lots of people our age are having problems with cell phones.
well, it's like you know, on a computer, I can almost always do what I want to do. You know,
Well, the keys
sometimes-
are bigger too.
Well, yeah, that's true, and you can see what you're looking at and all that good stuff. But the on phone, sometimes it's, and you know, maybe it's only for 10% of the stuff, and maybe you just can't do it, and I just don't, you know, maybe you just can't do it from, you know, that page or whatever you're trying to do. Maybe it's just impossible or something like that.
Maybe.
But I guess like I was saying about the right click on the location,
Okay.
the URL area, you know, to
Yeah.
be able to share it. That
That's
would be
URL for anybody who's
Yeah.
wondering who Earl is.
nice. Yeah.
But
So Unified
Phones are
Resource
nice.
Library.
you can do FaceTime for Thanksgiving and Christmas when you live far away. They're really great as far as being able to talk to people like with Dick Tracy, the old cartoons.
Oh, the
good old days.
The Risk Radio television.
Yes. So
Yeah.
anyhow, and with that and all the great technology that we have, I hope that all of you can use it in ways that make you happy, and wish you a very happy holiday.
Yeah, and holiday season and Thanksgiving possibly.
Make some
and
pies and
yeah, I
be
ordered a cake. I
careful
ordered
to
a cake.
not eat too much.
Yeah.
And if you're vegan or vegetarian, I
Yeah.
know there are some places that they actually would have open buffets at people's houses that were vegan or vegetarian and
Yeah.
had no meat Thanksgiving.
Yeah. It's probably
So have
lesser
fun
percentage of
wherever
them in
you are,
Louisiana.
whenever you do, whatever you like. Just have
Yeah.
a great holiday.
well, and you know, everybody, of course, can come and see us on Facebook, which is let's see, what is it? Morning Coffee at Cypress Street Radio or AOC or
Morning Coffee on Cypress Street Radio is our Facebook page. All those words. What is it?
And,
6 words. Morning Coffee on Cypress Street Radio. 6 words.
And I guess that's about it for the day. So y'all have a
Bye.
good one, and we'll see you next time.